What's up, guys? Long time no video. We've been quiet because we are this close to launching ClaimFacts, which is Clarity Market version 2. In the meantime, I thought we would do a quick video series with Julian Awad of LTSM. He does my personal marketing for my tree service. I have to say, if it wasn't for Julian, I wouldn't have been able to create Clarity Market and ClaimFacts because his results on my marketing has given me the breathing room to pay for all of the code that we're developing. So if you had questions about marketing, Facebook ads, reviews, that's going to be in this series. So without further ado, let's take off into it.
All right. So what's up, guys? It is Mark Russell and
Julian Awad from Local Tree Service Marketing. What's happening, man?
Guys, today we have a very interesting, something we've been planning for you. I'm going to give you the quick overview. Julian actually does my marketing and does an awesome job. So we decided we're going to do a quick 5-part session on really super awesome marketing tips, guys. How to make the phone ring. Julian, introduce yourself real quick. Tell me about it.
Thanks, Mark. My name is Julian Awad. I'm the president of Local Tree Service Marketing. We've been doing this for about 20 years now, officially incorporated now 16 years, I guess. My first client actually was Google. I hired Google and they did all of my work for both all of my pay-per-click and advertising and everything. That was like 2006, I guess, 2005. No, 2004. Man. And I got to tell you, I've been excited about specifically the tree service industry for about 4 years. We've been working here with clients in this space for about 4 years. But the more that I spend time at the different expos and with guys and their businesses, working with them or at the ISA events where I've been speaking, the more I've been understanding how much, in my opinion, your industry, what you guys do day in and day out, totally depends on digital marketing, taking your company from where you are today into the future. It's so important. And AI is coming, whether we want to believe it or not. So I'm excited to talk to you about this, Mark.
Yeah. Okay, guys, just to catch you up real quick. So why I'm doing this, mainly Julian has been the marketing push behind my company. And you guys know I love tech. I definitely love tech. There are certain parts I don't necessarily like SEO. Julian loves SEO. I don't like SEO, but I do recognize, and this is the most important thing, and why I figured that Julian and I would do this is because I do know enough about SEO. Heck, I went out to Silicon Valley, Simi Valley, California in 2008 to take
I didn't know this.
Classes.
What did you do?
Do you remember Bruce Clay?
Oh, yeah.
I actually flew out to Bruce Clay's place. He was given his thing. Amway was there. So Amway had their people. MTV had their people in the room.
Wow.
And so there's a little Russell with his little tree service. And I'm trying to learn. And when I came out of it, Julian, I was like convinced. I'm like, I hate SEO. It's so tedious. It's so tedious.
Yeah.
So guys, here's a quick map and then we're going to get into it. In the future versions, storm response marketing, what works, what doesn't, the regular traditional SEO, is it dead, is it not? Just hygiene on your Google business profile, citations, like building links, mobile first. That's what Julian was telling me. Mobile first is like that change that happened. There's other changes. So we're going to get into it. We've got a list of stuff that we're going to talk about on this one. And that is, I'll just start, where are we at right now? What's the deal with AI and search engine marketing right now?
Listen, man, I love that list you came up with. So I'm looking forward to all these sessions. All right. So I think really what people kind of want to know is everybody's hearing about AI. Everybody is hearing about these changes. They're seeing ads on Facebook, Insta, TikTok. It's everywhere. People are advertising. You got to have AI. AI does this. AI does that. And I would tell you, it's coming. It's not quite there yet, but it's coming. We're still looking at around 99.5% of all the traffic is still through search engines, primarily about 87% of it through Google. And we still have somewhere around 10% or so coming through Bing. through Microsoft, Bing, and then you have a few other channels where traffic is coming through on search engines. So, AI has not taken over yet, but as you know, Mark, we are getting traffic through Gemini, through ChatGPT, through Perplexity, even through DeepSeek, and also through let's see, a little bit from Claude. I've seen all coming to your website and to many other tree service websites that we take care of. We are seeing traffic coming directly from those sources. And so it's important to understand that. Since Google right now still is where people go to search, especially homeowners are going, when they need something, they're still going to Google to search. The main thing that has changed has been, I don't know if you've ever seen at the top, Mark, it basically now they've stuck up this thing called AI Summaries at the top. Have you seen that? So it's pushing everything else down, and we're seeing these summaries where AI Gemini, right, so their Gemini engine, is putting an AI summary which summarizes all these things. So there's good news and there's bad news with that, and that is that on some of the higher volume, more specific type of searches that are definitely local searches, we're still seeing the AI summaries are staying out, right? It's still showing the ads and it's showing the maps and it's showing the websites. But in some of the longer tail type of searches, we're beginning to see AI summaries creep into the tree space for the types of searches that people are doing specifically for tree services.
What's long tail?
Great question. I'm glad you asked that.
I know what it is, but
yeah, I know you know, but everybody else probably wants to know. And here's the thing is that, when people go to search, some people type in tree service, or they type in tree service near me, or tree service company near me. And as you add more modifiers or it gets longer, it's called long tail. Short tail is basically tree service near me, or tree service city state, like tree service Atlanta, Georgia for you, or something like that, right? But what we're seeing is over half the searches that are happening today are what we call natural language searches. And that is, like my mom, she picks up the phone and she goes, okay, like Siri, or okay, Google, right? Google, I'm looking for a tree service near me that can respond very quickly, that has really high ratings and good reviews, but isn't going to be too expensive, and maybe has a discount for senior citizens. So that's an example of that's a natural language search. Does that make sense?
Yeah, if we were to put it in program, it would be tree service near me /
Hold on. Google turned on. That was hilarious. Google turned on my phone.
Julian, let me find that answer for you.
Yeah, right.
So it would have each one of those parameters, each one of those things, the old way.
Yeah.
Now the natural language processing, or LLMs, it's going out there and scrubbing and kind of picking. It makes me wonder how they're measuring results on each one of the presentations that they give. Is there any, how are they getting feedback? I'm kind of straying from the formula, but when they throw out a result, is there any talk on how they're getting feedback back from those results to refine what they're pushing out?
Yeah, just first of all, what we really need to understand, and I'm skipping ahead a little bit onto mobile, and that is realize that almost everybody is using their phone now to initiate a search. You're talking about, depending on the demographics, where it's an older demographics, you might get up to 20% of your searches for tree service searches. But primarily what we're seeing is anywhere from 85 to 95% of all the traffic, all the searches are now mobile. Okay.
Yep.
So what we're seeing is people picking up their phone and going ding, 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 just like that into whatever search engine that's right on top of their phone, or they're clicking a button and they're saying something like this. They'll go in and they'll say, okay, Google, hey, I need a tree service company that's near me that has really good reviews. Which one should I pick? And so you'll see it begin to work through it. You'll see them start to pull up maps, which is what it's doing. This is another example of kind of a search in that manner. And then it's pulling up from there. It's going to pull up some sort of mobile. Oh, it's still listening to me as I'm talking. So I'd have to stop for a second. So let me pause that. And, oh, there we go. It actually started with the result. So if you see the result here that it comes through, it's a long series, but it's throwing up a list of information, and it has links.
That's customized.
Sources.
It's no longer the blue links. It's customized.
Well, it is. It is, and it's in each one of the results or the things that it suggests, it has a link in there. And that little link in there is no longer what we call a backlink. It's a citation link. So I'm going to show you an example here. Actually, let me share my screen, Mark, just for 1 second. I hope everybody can see it. If they can't, we'll put it back in post. All right, great. So if you guys can see this, Mark, can you see this here?
I can see it. Let's do it.
All right. So here's an example: emergency tree crane service, Alpharetta, Georgia. This is a typical type of search. Somebody who says, hey, I need a crane involved with my emergency tree service. You can see in this case, we still have the LSA ads up here at the top, the local service ads. And now you can see here, we still have the old school search ad that's here, these text ads. But look at this. We have now an AI overview. And it just so happens that you guys are number one, and it's citing you as the primary.
That's why we're doing this, guys. This is the reason we're doing it.
All right. Okay. So we're pointing it out, but it just so happens that Google not only favors you, but they see you as the authority, Mark, specifically around this subject matter here. And you can see this link right here. If I were to click this link, it will end up pulling up, and I'll do it in a second. But then they go on to explain, and they're actually explaining why they use you as the primary source. So this is what's called a citation, and you can see some more information here about citations. Interestingly, they're pulling your reviews from your Google business profile, which should be your first hint about something we're going to talk about in our next episode about reviews. But look at this here. Watch. If I hit this, look at all the citations. It's pulling from your review, from your review, from your reviews, from your reviews. So reviews can actually be a citation, as well as pulling from information that's off your website. So every single one of these ends up being there. And then you can see down here, you're still ranking here. This is a normal website rank. And then you can see the maps. You're ranking here in the maps as well.
Let's count them up. Hold on. Let's count up how many times 770 Arborist is said. Like, that's a lot of times, man.
Yeah.
Well, I see 1, 2, plus we at least had 2 that were showing, 3, 4.
Yeah, plus if you look at all here, the citations are all your reviews. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here off this
and then
AI.
You scroll down to the map pack.
Yeah, we got your website, and we have your in the map pack. Whoops. In your map pack, you're here.
And a paid. So all on that first page, at least. Oh, and then there's another one.
Yep.
There's another one below. That's from the
right here.
Google. So that's a pretty decent, for that particular keyword, that's decent penetration.
Yeah, I mean, our SEO is on point, and specifically what we're doing is we're setting up SEO now in order to overwhelm a page around specific topics. So that's pretty, I mean, this is a great example. Obviously, we're picking the best examples for this, but I'm just going to show you the same thing here. This is a different city, same search, different city. Again, you see the ads here again. This one has 2 search ads, but for this one here, you know, it's not all about you, Mark, except for when you dig in and we go down into this area. And if I hit what are the citations that they're pulling from, then you can see you're being cited down here. Here's your citation.
And also, if you scroll down a little bit, I was also mentioned in the map pack.
Yeah, that's right. You actually, in both of your offices, are mentioned here in the map pack. And then we got you as number 1 and number 2.
Show them how far away Buford is. Scroll up. Buford, you don't know that, but that's all the way over near R&R Tree Service. And my 2 offices are all the way on the left.
Yeah, right. And these are your offices here, and this is where Buford is. So if you see, and we have both listings here, but we also have number 1 and number 2 position here for tree service and emergency tree service here in for your website. I mean, these are great results for SEO. SEO goes up or down, but right now this is getting it. But what I want to show is that this one isn't all about 770 up top here, but this is a citation. You can see a citation here. We're not at the top on this one, but we are getting cited, and that means information from 770 Arborist is being pulled in here. And users are learning how to click on these, go here, and then click through. Sure. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just keep on. I've got 5 more questions.
Oh man.
Okay, so it was talking about, so if people aren't clicking as much, what happens to the Google ads? So
really good question. We're definitely seeing now somewhere between 40 to 60% of all Google searches end up without a click. But that's not true for local home services when people are searching for a local provider. People are still doing that. But as you know, in maps, phone numbers are right there. So a lot of the time, we're seeing right now that people are still dialing straight from the map results. And they're even dialing straight from, if you get your phone number, into your tree and your meta results. That's still an old trick. You can't click on it. It's not auto dial, but sometimes people will write it down and call it, which is great. But how that's impacting ads more and more is that only ads that have phone extensions, which is why LSA has worked a lot better these days, are what people have. Remember, we're talking about mobile.
And LSA is?
Local service ads. They're the ads right at the top. They have a little phone button, and you go here and you click right there on it, and it dials right away. Okay.
So LSA is a whole different thing where you have to like Google certified or whatever.
Yeah, it's not something you can just go and start running ads on. There's a full background check. There's certification process in there. You have to be verified with government IDs, insurance. Depending on the state, there's a whole variety of different types of certifications.
So are you saying that like with the AI and with the rise of AI and the map pack and LSA, there is less pay-per-click, the traditional just, hey, here's $100, show my ad this many times. Is pay-per-click going down or up? What do you think?
Well, for home services, specifically for us in tree service, right? For all of us that are talking and listening right now, pay-per-click has gotten much harder. And it is becoming something that you really can't rely on nearly as much. The reason is that Google wants to promote local businesses through their pay-per-call program, and that's local service ads. So the ones that get up there, right, and get up to the top, those are the folks that end up eating up the majority of the business that goes through search. There's a little phone icon up there, and people just click that and they call. You might have a message icon. They click that and they text in. And that's eating up more. With AI eating up that big chunk up there, really people barely get down to the maps or to the websites anymore. And so they're going right off of LSA. And that's making LSA and search ads that have call extensions really, really important. But I want to show you one thing that a lot of people miss out on. And I'm going to show you real quick. I know we're running out of time for this episode.
We got three more because we already handled the citations.
All right. I just want to show everybody this here. I get excited about this stuff, as you know, Mark. Check this out. Right here, you can see there's something called a sponsored map ad. And these are really, really important on mobile. So that's all I'll say is, these here are like a little bit of a secret weapon.
So each one of these little pieces, in case people don't know, I know this just from working with Julian, but each one of these pieces takes time to sort of like refine and like update and hygiene and make sure that each one is operating effectively.
That is correct. I mean, there's a lot of people that come to us and they have an LSA account. They have this set up like what you see right here, but they're not getting any calls and they don't know why. And there's a specific way you have to do things, and it has to do with the way Google's using AI, which we can get into in maybe one of our next layouts.
My point in saying this is that every single one of these things that you're doing, whether it's LSA, PPC, Facebook campaign, SEO, I mean, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. And guys, this is why I don't like it. Bro, I would much rather, and I'm talking to you tree guys, be running my switches on my, if I still own my PK. But the point is that's tedious. Julian handles it. Let's get on to the next one is, this one, we didn't get into it, but how do the AI systems, we did a little bit, decide which company to include in their summaries?
Okay.
So the details on that?
So we're going to talk a little bit more about this in another session, I'm sure, but it's not just reviews, but it has to do with the concept of trust plus authority. Okay. Trust plus authority. For the longest time, you guys know that back in the day, there were all sorts of people with fake profiles
Mhm.
People were setting up multiple listings in Google Maps. There were fake websites. There's all that sort of stuff going on. The term is astroturfing. That stuff was happening out there by both tree guys and non-tree guys, marketers. There, 12-year-olds in Azerbaijan. It was happening with all sorts of people just
Sure.
setting up fake stuff out there. And so Google wanted to get rid of that
what
and
would they
raise
do
the
with the
quality
fake
up.
stuff? Why would they do that?
Because they could set it up and they could take the calls and then sell the calls,
Yeah.
right?
So they're
Or
basically creating a pseudo directory on top of Google's directory, messing things up and trying to
Definitely.
extract money off of it.
Definitely. And and I've known many a tree guy from back in the day where we'd start working with their account and they would have 5 different Google listings on maps. And either all 5 were suspended or they had like 3 suspended and still 2 that were live. And they were back in the day just creating new listings all over, fake listings all over the city so that they could be ranked in multiple places and pop up. But Google caught on to that and started suspending accounts. Okay. So what Google wanted is they want higher quality listings and they wanted to move through that process. Obviously, businesses have more than one location very often, but they want people to do it the right way and to go through with higher quality and verification. So part of that was they started implementing this issue around trust and authority. And the way that they start to build trust is just like you'd be building trust if you were a brick and mortar. They want to see you in local listings. They want to see you in local mags with local PR. They want to see local people talking about you. They want to see local traffic to your website, local reviews on your Google business profile. They want to see, if you're a local business, they want to see Google everything that's local. Okay.
Yeah.
And more of that is, listen, the people that are out there that are not hiding in the shadows are the ones that are doing, best of Beaufort, Georgia, best of Atlanta. They're getting into the local marketing groups, the BBB, they're getting into Chamber of Commerce, and they're transparent. And Google's rewarding them because of their local trust in those areas and for being listed locally on local websites and getting local traffic. They're beginning to reward them with higher rankings. Now, the way they evaluate all the people there is now they're looking at reputation, and reputation is reviews, right? What is your reputation? If you noticed, if we were looking at one of your listings, all of the citations were your reviews on Google. Google trusts Google. Google trusts the reviews on Google.
Yeah.
So those reviews are becoming more and more important. So now what we have is we have transparency and local. So that's kind of your local authority. And then we also have your reputations and put those two together and you get trust. And that trust is what's pushing people to the top now. It's not just links. It's not old school SEO stuff. It's now a change in there. Trust is really important on top of authority.
That's Julian, and guys, I'll just share with you one of the, I'm not going to say hardest things, but one of the tensions with Julian is being that I've had is being old school and being the creative guy that I am. I'm always trying to figure, and he's just been like, no, just get your 2 listings and focus. And if you're a creative, you do get tempted to say, oh, I'll throw up more. And the thing is, and we'll get into it, this is one that would be really fun, is just all of the ways that they catch you. Like not they catch you, but all of the measurements they have to verify that you're local. That's the better way to say it.
Oh, yeah.
Even the app, walking with your GPS. We'll go into that, guys. Julian, let me just ask you this. We'll go into that on another podcast. That one's going to be fun. How can they get in touch with you? What steps should they do? What can they do now? Actually,
I appreciate that. We take on a certain amount of clients every single month so that we can do a great job for every client. So if anyone who's on here, give us a call. You can go to localtreeservicemarketing.com. Make sure it's localtreeservicemarketing.com. There's a spammer who just put up treeservicesmarketing.com. It's a totally AI generated spammer. Nobody can reach him. Nobody who knows who it is, but make sure you can call, you talk to a human, ask them if it's, part of our crew, and we'll get you set up. What we normally do is we do a free consultation Then we look at all what you have going, whether you have nothing or you have, current services in place, and we do a competitive analysis for your area to show you how you're ranking with other people. That's how we get started. And then we help you figure out, what do you need? What kind of services do you need? How big are you? What are your goals? What kind of revenues do you want to grow to? And, if you're struggling with rankings, we have a lot of tips and tricks that we can help to end up boosting you up. So thanks, Mark. I appreciate the shout out. And I'm having a lot of fun just doing this with you.
We'll do some more subjects. Guys, you've got Julian's information. Check out, just be ready. ClaimFacts is coming. Clarity Market's already up and running. And to a large degree, guys, and this I'm for real, if it wasn't for Julian powering my business with the marketing and the success that we've had with our storm work, you wouldn't have access to ClaimFacts or Clarity Market, because so much of that, our revenue generated, is because of Julian's work. Julian, thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate
it. Y'all take care.
All right, talk to you next one.
All right, bye.